Oh, hey there. I'll wait till later. But if you guys are fans of the smell of smoke, Terroni by Orto Parisi is going to be right up your alley. So all of you fans of smoky fragrances, stick around for this one. Hey guys, welcome back to Real Scent Review. Today I'm going to be going over Orto Parisi's Terroni, which in my opinion is the best smoky fragrance on the market. This stuff here is absolutely stunning if you are a fan of smoky fragrances. Orto Parisi, great Italian niche house. This fragrance house belongs to Alessandro Gualtieri, who is also the perfumer for a lot of fragrances such as Black Afghano from Nasamato. So he went and created his own fragrance house. And in my opinion, Terroni is the best one from Orto Parisi. So let's get into the presentation here, starting off with the box. So it's a rectangular cube. On the front, we can see Terroni, and there's a design here. I think it looks like flowing lava, and I'll explain that in a minute. On the back here, there's a saying about the Orto Parisi fragrance house. On the top, it looks like there's a figure 8 stamped into the top. Now, it's very complicated opening this box. Allow me to demonstrate as gracefully as I possibly can. So the top flap comes off, and then as you can see, it opens from the side like this. And the bottle is meant to sit in this part here, and then these inner parts close around the bottle to keep the bottle from moving around. Anyway, it's a little bit complicated, and I'm not going to demonstrate with the bottle inside right now. But anyway, onto the bottle itself here. First of all, very heavy bottle here, substantial. It's got some weight to it. You can see the reddish juice inside, looks almost like a rosé wine. On the front here, we have Terroni. On the back, it's Orto Parisi. On the side, it's the concentration and volume of the bottle. On the bottom of the bottle is the figure 8 symbol once again, and a batch code. The cap itself does not stick into place, but it does have a good amount of friction to it. Now, this bottle cap itself is just amazing. So the sides of the bottle are coated in pure metal, and the top of it here looks like some igneous rock or some hardened lava perhaps, in keeping with the theme of the flowing lava from the front of the box. Now the general theme of this fragrance, Terroni, which is an Italian insult actually. Northern Italians call the Southern Italians. Terroni means basically people who never leave the land. It's basically a way that some Northern Italians mock Southern Italians. So when we think of Southern Italy, some things that might pop into our mind, Mount Vesuvius perhaps in Naples, a large volcano. I think that's where the theme of the flowing lava and the igneous rock comes from. So yeah, associations with Southern Italy. And you know, the smell of this fragrance itself, there's definitely an earthy quality to this, which would tie in directly with the Terroni theme. Anyway, onto the scent itself. Great atomizer, powerful, long and wide. Oh my God, the smell of this, so good. So the notes that I detect are the following. In the top, I get some cherry and guaiac wood. In the mid, I get some more guaiac wood and some amber. And in the dry down, I get some more amber, more guaiac wood, and some patchouli. So the very opening of this, I get a light bit of cherry mixed with some guaiac wood. Very smoky, burnt wood. And that's mixed with a little bit of that fruity, light cherry, which gives me the impression almost of a smoky red wine, maybe a barrel-aged red wine with a lot of smoke going on in the beginning. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting here. Again, that might tie in with the whole Southern Italy theme of this fragrance. And in the mid, we definitely get more of that guaiac wood. It remains very smoky, like burnt, charred wood, just pure smoke. It's very smoky. But in the mid, we get a little touch of amber, so it starts to sweeten up. It never goes totally sweet, but there are some ambery nuances in the mid here. So we get that resinous benzoin. There's a touch of sweet vanilla. Although, like I said, this never goes totally sweet. But yeah, we get a little bit of an ambery note in the mid here. And in the dry down, more of that smoky, burnt guaiac wood. At this point, the guaiac wood, the smoke is becoming a little bit less prominent, and the actual wood part of the guaiac wood is starting to become more prominent. So we still get that smokiness, but there's definitely a more noticeable wood in the bottom of this. Mixed again with that amber. The amber is starting to get a little bit more prominent as well. So the sweetness goes up just a tiny little bit. It's more of a resinous characteristic, so we definitely get that benzoin with just a touch of sweet vanilla here. And there's definitely some patchouli, a little bit of patchouli in the bottom here. So it definitely provides an earthy characteristic to the dry down, and there's just a touch of that patchouli spice as well. So all in all, this is just a magnificent fragrance, and it's very, very smoky. So goes without saying, if you're not a smoke fan, steer clear of this fragrance. This is as smoky as it gets. And it's not that incense, light, wispy touch of smoke that exists in a lot of fragrances. No, this is straight up burning wood. It's very, very smoky. It's not what a lot of people are going to be used to, but I promise you, if you love smoke, it doesn't get any better than this. So yeah, this is gonna be, I don't know, maybe sort of a special occasion type of fragrance. Maybe not the most versatile, but for cooler weather, you know, it's gonna be more versatile in the cold weather than it would be for summer weather. But more so, I think this is gonna be a personal enjoyment type of fragrance. Maybe going for a walk in the park at nighttime, maybe sitting around the house, you know, for some reflective time. But it's very powerful. In the far dry down, it's definitely a lot more tame than it is in the beginning and the mid. So, I mean, if you sprayed this on several hours before you went to the office, perhaps, there's probably no issue with that. If I sprayed this on several hours before I went on a date, I think even that would work. Because in the dry down, it's still got that smoke, but there's also a definite amber characteristic. You know, in the far dry down, this is a very sexy, very nice fragrance. But let me tell you, in the beginning, in the mid, this is a bomb. It's very smoky, very heavy, and I mean, I love it, but I think a lot of people out there would have trouble adapting to the smell of this, unless, like I said, you spray this on with a lot of lead time before you leave your house, before you arrive at whatever destination you're going to. In that case, I think it could be fairly versatile. But like I said, this is not a spray and go type of fragrance, as they say. No, this requires a lot of thought, and deservedly so, because it's a masterpiece. It's one of the best fragrances I've ever smelled, masterfully blended. It has so many dimensions to it. It starts off like a bomb of smoke, but it develops into an ambery woodiness with some earthiness in the bottom. It has different stages, and it almost paints an image of climbing up the side of an erupting volcano, maybe. You can let this scent take you on whatever personal journey you want it to take you on, because this is a scent that takes you on a journey. Again, not something that I would want to wear to try to impress other people. This is a fragrance for myself. Having said all that, I don't think it's the most offensive fragrance out there. For example, there's no animalic notes. It's just very heavy and smoky. And like I said, it's not that light type of incense either. It's straight up burnt wood smoke, you know. So for smoke lovers, you're gonna want to get your hands on this one. But for the general population, I would say do your research, try to sample this first. Another reason why is because this stuff is just so strong, it's hard to describe almost. The projection on this, easy 3 hours, easy 3 hours projection beyond an arm's length. The longevity on this is like all day long, 12 plus hours. It's one of the strongest fragrances I've ever smelled. It's one of the strongest fragrances you can get on the market, I'm sure. So performance is a non-issue. In fact, performance might be sort of an impediment to this fragrance because it is just that strong. But anyway, if you are into this type of fragrance, really strong, smoky, with some ambery and woody characteristics and some earthy characteristics, it doesn't get any better than this. You gotta do yourself a favor and check this out. In North America right now, FragranceNet has this on for $163 US, that's for a 50 milliliter bottle. And here in the European Union, BachelorBeauty.es has this on for 143 euros for 50 milliliters as well. Now that's expensive, it only comes in a 50 milliliter bottle, but if you're into this sort of scent profile, it really doesn't get any better. It's worth every cent. Now, a little while ago, I reviewed a fragrance called Mahir Black Edition by Lattafa. At this point, I realized that Mahir Black is 100% a clone of Terroni by Orto Parisi. Now, I have to say, Mahir Black is very one-dimensional compared to this. The Mahir Black, yeah, you definitely get that heavy smokiness, but it's like that smokiness doesn't really evolve into anything else. Whereas this, the smokiness remains all the way through, but it gets a little bit less potent as the fragrance dies down, and then it becomes mixed with some ambery facets, some woody nuances, and that earthy type of spicy patchouli in the dry down. This is a multi-dimensional fragrance with a lot of development, and compared to Mahir Black, it's just the superior fragrance. There's really no competition. This is one of those fragrances where I think none of the clones really do it justice. I think if you want to experience the real deal, you have to just go pick up the real deal. And I don't normally say that, but this is one of those rare occasions where I will say that this is just better than any of its clones. Anyway, guys, thanks for sticking around while I reviewed my favorite smoky fragrance. Just as far as I'm concerned, the best smoky fragrance you can get, period. Hope you guys have enjoyed this review. Until next time, keep it real.